Hello and welcome to Creating Canon with your hosts AJ Hamilton and That was Nicholas C. Pappas in Dom Deluise speak. Oh my God. Hey guys, we're here. We're back with Creating Canon. And this week, we saw a doozy. We saw... What did we see, Mr. Nicholas?
We went bananas.
Oh, God.
With the 1987 children's movie, Going Bananas.
Oh, my God.
Which, you know what? It makes sense that Dom DeLuise was in this movie because, I don't know if you know this, children love Dom DeLuise.
They can't get enough of him.
They cannot get enough of that man.
Well, and also, Bonzo loved children.
And Bonzo loved children. Holy shit.
Oh my God. You know what's surprising to me about just the title? A lot of stuff in canon films...
Canon,
I suppose. They drop the G.
Yeah.
You know, it always seems...
Rappin'.
Brickin'. Doing time on planet Earth, you know?
Doing time. Yeah, that's right.
And so, you know, to be a little cheeky, I suppose, but they didn't take this opportunity.
No, they just went with Going Bananas.
That's right.
Going,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Get the G in there. It's not funny unless it's a double G sound.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah?
You want to give us a rundown of this...
The plot?
Movie, I guess?
An American senator's son travels to Africa, where he befriends a talking ape and becomes every black person's hero in Going Bananas. That sums it up, right?
Yeah, no. I don't know if every black person was there or heard about the news of his rescuing Bonzo, but
they were every single time like that kid and Dom DeLuise would like run out of a building they
were rushed like they were Justin Bieber.
Yeah, well that's exactly right. Like people would run after them cheering.
Yeah.
Like for no apparent reason whatsoever. It would seriously
be...
To
the detriment of themselves, too.
Yes.
They would run into traffic, into airplane blades, into anything.
I mean, no one died,
welcome
to be clear. Nobody died.
I mean, we didn't see
on camera.
Yeah.
On camera, at least. Yeah.
It's like Twilight Zone all over again.
It'd be the equivalent of, like, if I stopped a robber in the middle of the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And everybody in the farmer's market turned to me and started cheering.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, but how did you know I was stopping a robber in the farmer's market?
How are you immediately aware of this situation?
Right.
Which they seem to be at every turn.
I feel like I'm going to encapsulate this movie
in
one single note.
Okay.
All right?
So sure.
The movie, well, to back up for like a half a second, the movie starts off with a boat called the African Queen showing up.
Yeah.
And on the boat is this boy named Ben, played by, my brain's like, it's not even working. This movie killed me.
Mendenhall.
Mendenhall, who was the kid over the top, right? He's a little kid over the top.
Right, and also the son of Spike Witwicky, Daniel Witwicky.
In the Transformers movie?
Original Transformers movie way
with
back
Orson
when.
Welles?
That's right, and Spock. Yeah.
And the boat arrives, and the kid's like, oh my God, we're in Africa, yay! And the ship captain says...
some racist stuff.
Well, what he says is, because this is the actual note, right? So he actually says, like, be careful out there, the boy is going to Africa, slippers won't save him, because Dom DeLuise is trying to get his shoes on.
Yeah.
And Dom DeLuise goes, don't worry, we've hired a guide, to which the ship's captain says, the guide will probably eat you.
Great.
Instant cut to racism.
Yep.
Like, literally, that is the start of the movie.
And also, he repeats the joke.
Yes, like four
times.
They
land and they meet Mozambo, Jimmie Walker.
Jimmy Good Times Walker.
Yes. Jimmy C. Walker, Jimmy Dynamite Walker.
Yeah.
And to his face, like with him in earshot, he says, watch out, he'll probably eat you. I'm like, that's you just said that.
Brave. It's pretty brave.
Also, you just said that. Like, even being brave, you're not creative.
No.
And also, in the terms of a movie, write a different joke.
It's like your racist uncle told a joke at Thanksgiving dinner.
And not everyone was in the room.
So he keeps telling it all night, and he's like,
yeah.
And then I said... racism. And you're like,
blue people.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, no. How am I supposed to deal with this?
This all had a tinge of that throughout the movie.
Well, it's definitely a movie from the 80s. It definitely has that, white hero, white savior thing going on. It definitely has that, Africans or savages thing going on.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough movie in so many ways in that, because we've watched a ton of, look, it's a movie from the 80s.
Yeah, 87.
87.
Right.
And it is a canon film. And that's not to say all canon films inherently have issues with race or sexism or whatnot.
They were a result of the times, maybe more or less.
Maybe a little bit more in that Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus had that whole thing about, put boobs in a movie and everything's great.
And maybe cultural differences didn't have the same mores as that time.
Yeah.
So they were like, that'll be fine.
Let's go for it.
Again, the 80s weren't the most progressive times for movies. Not necessarily the least progressive, but they weren't great yet.
Not the most.
No.
It's just one of those movies where, because what I was going to get to is we've seen a lot of movies that have real issues at its core, but still the movie somehow holds up. There's some quality in a way.
Some on the right side of history.
On the right side. And even if it's completely on the wrong side of history. And this is going to be because of course we're two white dudes, so it's really easy for us to say there's still some entertainment value and then there's still some solid filmmaking.
But this one
does not have much of either of those things.
No. Put yourself, though, in the demographic of 6 years old to 12. What do you think? Would that even be too old?
Well, that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out is it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
First of all, we should mention that this is directed by Boaz Davidson,
right?
Who directed X-Ray, which we've done on the podcast.
That's right.
Last American Virgin, which will eventually be on the podcast.
American Cyborg,
right. Lemon Popsicle, Salsa. He is a canon staple. And in fact, Lemon Popsicle, which was the Israeli film that The Last American Virgin eventually became,
right,
was hugely popular and gave the Go-Go Boys. That's part of what allowed them to purchase canon films.
It was their claim to fame.
Yeah, it was their big claim to fame. Yeah. And what's weird is Boaz Davidson has since made Olympus Has Fallen, The Expendables, Hitman's Bodyguard.
As a producer,
yes.
Yes. Wicker Man. Yay.
So he clearly at least understands what entertainment is.
Well, 16 Blocks still holds up.
I liked 16
Mos Def
Blocks.
and Bruce Willis. Yeah.
And then the movie was written by Menachem Golan.
Yeah.
The very Menachem Golan of the Go-Go Boys.
Yep.
Who didn't write a lot. He wrote Delta Force, he wrote Hot Chili, he wrote The Apple.
Yeah. Into the Ninja,
which
Lovely.
we've done on the podcast.
That's right.
But he also wrote this movie called Oy Vey, My Son is Gay, which is one of the last movies that he wrote.
Oh my God.
In it, the poster is just imagine what you think the poster looks like.
Yeah. Is it worse?
It's just that.
Okay.
It's exactly what you think it is. It looks like it's someone's oh, I know what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'm going to cash in on the success of my big fat Greek wedding, but make them Jewish and gay. Boom, done.
Perfect.
He even stars Lani Kazan, which is a whole other story.
Oh, wow.
But there was a point where I actually wrote down, to get back to your question of
sure.
It's a
Who
kid's
is
movie.
this appropriate for?
I actually wrote down, I understand it's a kid's movie, but has Menachem Golan ever met a child?
Yeah.
Because there's that
Well, within the first 10 minutes, we find out that a local official is being bribed by a circus, an American circus runner in Western Africa.
Yeah.
To find him his next big act.
By the way, it's a white dude who's a German official. Did you say that already?
No, but the American
and the American circus guy is
runner.
Also white.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
No, colonialism, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No. And at that point, I was like, wait, do kids know what bribes are?
Yeah.
It was... Not that I haven't gone back and watched movies that I've seen as a kid and understood them better because I understood more of the themes that they were tackling, but this had a weird panoply of things that I don't think kids would necessarily like or understand.
Yeah, we made the joke about Dom DeLuise, but Dom DeLuise is a weird fucking choice for a kids movie.
He is, yeah.
In that his humor is very specific.
Yeah.
It's kind of wordplay in a way that's sort of adult.
Yeah. Side tangent, do you think he was paid by each line that he got exactly, like, word perfect, because
he would be poor.
The flattest delivery with the least amount of contractions in there.
Yes.
I was shocked how one note he was.
Oh, because I was actually thinking, because there was the opposite thing, too, that he was doing, where, like, Dom DeLuise had this weird thing where he'd be like, I'm walking off a boat, and now I'm in Africa. And now there's a guy over there, and now I'm eating an apple.
In the Jeep, and I'm not in the Jeep.
Yeah, and I'm standing outside of the Jeep, and...
Yeah, that was pretty much his performance.
He just kept narrating everything he was doing.
He's like, you don't have to do that. We'll just see that on screen. No, but it's underneath
it's
my name, my character name. No, that's stage direction, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, the narrating. I just couldn't stop laughing at everything he was doing.
Cannot believe it.
Oh, even like the first time we see Dom DeLuise, he walks out and he's like, all right, we're going to put your arm in this jacket. Then we got to get your other arm in this jacket. Because we're going to put you in a jacket because we're in Africa. And here are some shoes. Put on your shoes.
And he was milking that scene for the... like every single place he could put his hands on that kid's shoulders to just adjust the jacket one way or the other. My God. That made me anxious.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
There were definite... You actually said it while we were watching, where you were like, Chris Hansen is freaking out over this movie, because every single moment there was like, this is
not the way you interact with a child.
And that's the thing, too, where it's like, did Menachem Golan ever meet a child? Because it just feels awkward from start to finish.
Yeah. All right. We don't know why... Well, so we kind of know why the kid and Big Bad Joe Hopkins, Dom DeLuise, are there. That, like you said, he's a senator's son, and did they book passage on this ship that's delivering things? I don't know. But they're there, I guess, for a day trip to take some tour around a safari area. It seems very weak. Well, like, very thin.
It doesn't
storyline.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why they're there, because I think he mentions very briefly that he's there to learn something.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense that, like, why would a senator send his son to Africa for like 3 days to, like, look, just a quick writing fix.
Yeah.
If the kid was the ambassador's son to this made up African country.
Yeah.
I would at least it makes sense why he's showing up there.
Right. It's like, I don't want to be here. This is weird. Or even if he's excited about it. That's great. Right. That's fine.
Either way, it doesn't matter. But, like, at least there's a real purpose for them being there other than to eventually find a talking monkey.
And also, that's the center of this whole thing, is the talking monkey, which...
And that... What... That comes out in the weirdest two ways. Well, first of all, when the police official is being bribed by the circus guy guy says, I need some good things from you. I don't need just
a snake.
I don't need it. Yeah, he brings him a snake. He's like, I don't want a stupid snake. What I want is something good, like a bear that we could teach to juggle, or a monkey that can talk. And then, like, 2 or 3 minutes later, they being the little boy, Dom DeLuise, and Jimmie Walker, going through, like, this safari park thing, question mark.
By the way, Jimmie Walker trying his best with the accent. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it's a fake place, so I guess they have weak accents.
Jimmie Walker was actually, like, I don't know how to phrase this right, but, like, he was also somehow filled with such, like, racism and appropriation that was uncomfortable.
But also, I will give him that he had some energy behind it.
That's true.
He was giving it his all, I think.
For the most part. There were some times where I thought he was...
Well, can you imagine being in this movie? Like,
oh my God.
It must have been... It's so contrived, and it's so... The dialogue, you don't know what the stakes are. Like, they get thrown in jail twice. They're just like,
they just kind of
hey,
walk out.
Let's talk to the monkey, and let's just sit down and wait for our food. And we're not really bothered because there's clearly no danger to any of us.
Right, nothing.
I mean, I know it's a kid's movie, again, but it just... Like, look at the Goonies, man.
Right.
I watched that when I was like 8, 7 years old or something like that. You felt the danger. Like, that gang... Oh my god.
Yeah, they could have killed them. And they had guns and they were scary.
Yeah.
And in this, that didn't happen. And you talk about, like, contrived lines. There was a point when they're going through that safari place where the little kid, before they even meet the monkey, said something effective like, my teacher says that some monkeys have vocal cords and they can talk. At least that's his theory. Setting up this idea of, like, this insane, crazy shit.
Yeah. And apparently what it is Dom DeLuise has to keep a banana from you. Going bananas.
Going bananas.
And yell at you 4 times to say banana. And that...
the monkey will then...
That'll teach him all of English, essentially.
Yeah.
And how to understand not only how to interact with humans, but also to open a lock with a key and fly a plane.
The monkey flies a plane.
The monkey takes the initiative and jumps in the back of a plane. And flies
the fucking plane.
The plane, folks.
It's...
I don't know. You have to see this. Like, no.
Well, it's available freely on YouTube.
Yeah, so enjoy.
From a VHS rep. It's weird because, and again too, like going back to like this is a kids movie, and Dom DeLuise makes a suicide reference.
Yeah, that's
weird.
That's like halfway through the movie.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It happens. He mentions suicide, and I'm like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Pause for a second. Can we go back to that?
So
and it's not even like,
oh my god,
it's suicide as a punchline. It wasn't suicide as in like, you know what would be really bad, young man?
Yeah.
Don't be so depressed that you do that. He was like, suicide's funny.
That'll be great.
Some jokes about it.
Ugh. Okay, so as sort of an encapsulation of this thing, we paused this at one point in the middle, sometime during it.
Yeah.
And we took bets on how long it had been going on. And I said about 40 minutes. You said...
I said 18 minutes because I was having that experience where, you know when you're watching something and it feels like, okay, I've been watching this forever. It's time to move forward. Like, and then you like find out and you're like, oh shit, we're in trouble.
No.
We had one movie where we did that on where I thought we were like an hour into it solidly and we were like 19 minutes in.
Yeah,
and
that was
like, this is bad.
Upsetting.
Yeah.
It was at 47 minutes. It was right at the middle of the movie.
Yeah, like almost that exact halfway point.
And we were both dying because 40 minutes for me meant that nothing had happened so far. And 18 minutes to you meant so little has happened. So we were on essentially the same page.
Exactly.
It was just like, I felt it was plotting and insane, and you were like, get to something already.
Do a thing.
God, man. And was that already past the diner fight where the monkey was dressed up as a woman?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's something I just said.
That's exactly what went through my brain is like, those are words that came out of your mouth just now. As a thing.
Sorry, everybody.
That was not...
That had already happened, man.
No, because...
they captured them afterwards.
No, because I was
We paused them after they broke out the first time. We paused it after the kid had broken him and Bonzo out.
Oh my god.
It was so long. They had gone into the safari. There had been 3
getting out and taking pictures.
Dom DeLuise bits with
the bit where he all of a sudden has like an entire dining room table with a tablecloth and like a picnic out.
Oh my god! And foie gras, and apparently
an elephant comes up and eats. Was it an elephant?
What was it? Yes, it was an elephant.
An elephant comes up and eats it when he's not looking.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the first one where the lion takes a nap on top of the car while he's taking a nap.
Yes.
And it's smacking him with its tail.
Yes.
And he accidentally bites it, and there is a cartoon, like, chomp.
Well, there were cartoon sound effects all throughout this movie.
But inconsistently. Like, it wasn't like it was everywhere. It was just at these weird, inopportune times that are just, that was weird.
Well, it almost came at places where it felt like they were all on set like, oh my god, he's gonna bite this tail and it's gonna fucking kill. These children are gonna piss their pants. You know what? We're gonna hand out trash bags to put over seats because all these children are gonna piss their pants.
Yeah.
Laughing. And then the first screening, nobody laughed, and they're like, oh, maybe they don't know what's funny. Maybe we should put in sound effects.
Maybe we can't see. Let's not do natural Foley. Let's get the guy from the Morning Zoo crew to use his, soundboard.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my god.
Right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
holy
exactly.
shit.
Flush.
It's Michael Winslow. It's Michael Winslow.
And
doing
then
all
so
those sound
so
effects.
they've accidentally taken this. Oh, we didn't even talk about the tribe called dentists.
The tribe of dentists.
That was so odd. I
Yeah.
will say, there's many other ways to describe that, but there's a woman who is using a bicycle chain to power the
She was
drill.
pedaling backwards too.
Yeah,
was the amazing
why
part.
though?
I honestly think so. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of information on this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly confident this was shot on location.
Okay.
Because some of the extras looked African, and there's no other way of putting it than like they looked like they were an African from Africa.
And some of the accents didn't sound fake.
Yeah, exactly. There was pieces of it that were authentic.
The background characters and the side characters. Yeah.
None of the actual leads sounded authentic. But I just don't even know. It felt like it was on location. I'm imagining they just put this woman on a bike. She's never seen a bike.
Yeah.
And that's why she was pedaling backwards. And I know I'm probably tapping into something that is like maybe racially awkward there, but
right. Well, okay, I've never been to Africa. I have not researched much about Africa. This is a fake country, by the way, or town, or whatever.
Tongola?
Tongola, yeah. So I don't even know what fake customs would be in a West African country, but it looked like they were just putting on a headdress for a Thanksgiving play. You know, and doing weird face paint. And I don't even know if that was like, that person doesn't walk around like that every day and may not have ever dressed like that. So I wonder if there was any authenticity paid to any. It doesn't seem like
of just like skulls on set, like human skulls in this that was, because they were definitely 100% leaning into the African cannibal, African savage, African native.
Yeah. It's the most dangerous, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, stereotype, dangerous, darkest country stereotype.
Yeah, ugh.
So when we saw King Solomon's Mines, which also took place in Africa.
And also starred the bad guy.
Herbert Lom.
Who played the captain of the local police.
Yeah, in this movie.
Yeah, the bad guy.
Both.
Yep.
Absolutely. You know, the thing is that, at least in that movie, there was... And I use huge quotation marks around, so please understand that, but, at least in that movie, that version of that tribe, that tribalism thing makes sense. Not really sense, but, it at least follows plot to a certain extent, in that, that is part of, the danger they run into. In this movie, it's just sort of
why were they on the safari land? That was confusing to me.
You mean the tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, that's actually, right. Yeah, it would be because what I understood is the safari land place that they went to was sort of like a
protected area?
Or... Like a protected... I was actually thinking it was felt more like the Wild Animal Kingdom Park that we have in San Diego.
Yeah, they called it Togo Land Zumba...
Monzumba...
Mamba Zomba Land.
Mamba Zomba Land.
I mean, if... I looked that up. That wasn't a thing either.
Wasn't a thing, no way.
No.
Because, each of the animals lived in, a certain area that Jimmie Walker kept talking about. This is the monkey area.
Well, there were lions and monkeys and everything. And, but they didn't seem to be blocked off. So I don't know if it's...
Yeah, it was really unclear, like most of this movie. But what I was going to say, though, is that you're right. The tribe also lived on that land.
Yeah. So let's just say that this is not historically... Not even historically, just culturally accurate.
Appropriate.
Or sensitive.
Sensitive, yeah.
In any way.
And which I don't think that a movie from the, I think we'd be really stupid to think a movie from 1987
would be anything better than that.
Would be anything that,
but,
I guess, though, going
But there are different levels.
Right.
You know?
But this brings up that whole thing about, there's a suicide joke, but that means there's a cannibalism joke.
Yeah.
In a children's movie.
They'll eat two of them, the same one.
Two of them, the same one. But there's also, again, all those skulls, laying around. That was what the African tribes, there's 3 or 4 tribes sections.
Yeah.
And all the African tribes used human skulls to decorate. And that, I think, is just an interesting, again, that posits a place where, like, you've sat down with your kids and you're like, okay, so just so you know, sometimes people eat people. You know Jeffrey Dahmer?
The weirdest part about this is kids know, I mean, if they know the little bit of geography, they know that it makes Africa a scary and cartoony and not real place. It doesn't feel like it's authentic or real, or it feels like a silly Never Land or something like that, where it's not taking everything seriously.
It's just a weird movie. And, like, also, too, one of the things is the script feels like it's just a random assortment of crazy. There's nothing that matters from one moment to the next. None of it adds up to anything. There's very little consistency in moment to moment.
To pace or anything. I mean...
Yeah, we'll get to pace in a second.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I think there might be no consistency in that this is actually based off a series of children's books, Israeli children's books, about a monkey called Kofiko. And Menachem Golan is Israeli, so of course he probably grew up with these books, or at least his children grew up with these
them
books,
or something.
Or optioned them or whatever. And there's not a lot about these books that I
couldn't find much.
Yeah, it's very little, and I'm sure there's a million Israelis listening.
Sure, of course.
Screaming at us.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm guessing from what I've seen, and it's almost like a Curious George kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
So in that sense, what I'm assuming happened is Menachem Golan went ahead and took like 12 different little kids' books, stitched them together into a movie. And that's why it feels like there's a lack of consistency, and that's probably why
it's episodic.
Like, it's so episodic, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you used the word that I could not think of.
That's why I'm here. Co-host makes it all better. I don't know, man. I mean, they jump from thing to thing to thing. I mean, that's why the circus, as much as it's a through line, and I get that the guy is constantly trying to get the monkey, but the circus is such an odd set piece at the very end. It's like we've been in so many different places, and then we're in this. I mean, it takes place, and it feels like the Joker fighting Batman in the 60s Adam West Batman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's that campy, and the rest has been sort of campy, but set in this African nation. And then that is just, hey, we brought America to Africa, and now we're going to blast you with all this weird color and these odd slapstick stuff. I don't know.
You actually just brought up this really fucking fascinating point that, like,
I know.
To grasp onto even this line of logic, right?
Yeah.
Because why do Americans go to the circus? It's to see things like elephants and giraffes and things like that. And this movie posits a place where a person can just look outside and there's like elephants and giraffes walking around in the wild.
They're right next to a safari place, apparently.
Why would you ever in a million years go to a circus to watch? That would be like, look,
there's no wild trapeze artists.
That would be like us. That's true. You have a point there. But what I was going to say, though, is like, that would be like if you and I opened up a circus that had like American deer, squirrels,
wild cats,
a couple of dogs and cats, maybe like a mountain lion, and like a buffalo. And we're like, hey, we're charging for this.
Come on in, Washington State.
Come on in.
You'll love
check it out. Right? And like, everyone would be like, it's a fucking squirrel.
Yeah.
I saw 40 of them as I was coming to the circus.
I hit half of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It'd be like, also, it's like, oh my God, this is genius. Like, we go to Texas and we open an armadillo circus where there's just like armadillos and like steers, right? Like, that's part of our circus.
You've never seen this.
Yeah. You've never seen this before. And we're going to charge you admission.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was wrong, though. There were trapeze artists in the wild, and that was Ben and Bonzo.
That's right. There was a moment.
Bonzo loved Ben.
Yeah. Bonzo. Banana. Like,
go banana.
The great part of this movie, though, I do have to say, the fact that they got a real ape to do all of those things that the Bonzo character did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait. That couldn't have been a real ape.
What?
No, because I don't think apes talk or act mainly like it did.
Whoa.
And, I mean, not once did it rip a person's face off for hitting it.
Not once did it rip. Not once did it masturbate and throw its semen to prove that it was in charge.
Feces blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Who was this, Mr. Pappas?
Who
was playing this?
This is so. Actually, let's just step back a second,
please,
because there's this amazing story that we read about where Menachem Golan's original plan was to get Clyde the orangutan from the Clint Eastwood movie Every Which Way But Loose.
This makes me so angry.
And apparently, like, in the office, Menachem Golan was like, yeah, no, we want him. And Clyde's agents, which is really funny to say on its own, Clyde's agents were not His representations were not happy, and were like, no, we will not do it. So then, all of a sudden, Menachem Golan shows up on the set with, and he presents Deep Roy, who played
all the Oompa Loompas
in the
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
the Johnny Depp / Tim Burton movie.
Sure.
And he says, "Meet your new monkey."
I imagine him throwing him at him,
just like picking him up and chucking him.
It's disrespectful, but like that's the image that I got. Here's your new monkey, and like Deep landed in his arms, and he's like,
"Hey,
so what do I do?
What's going on?
How's it going?"
And Boaz Davison was like, "We should put that in the movie," and he went ahead and did it.
Yep, sure. Oh, well, speaking of the trapezing in the wild, that was a weird part of this movie.
Let me ask a real question for you.
Yes.
Can you name one part of this movie that wasn't weird?
The boat. The boat wasn't weird.
I guess maybe that was the one part of this movie that wasn't weird in one way or another.
Just the boat, not the people on the boat.
No, the people on the boat were weird. You're absolutely right.
Just the boat. The boat was doing fine.
The boat was fine.
Except the distance at the end that the monkey had to jump.
That had to be
because it had left.
That was
no longer docked.
That was like a football field.
Yeah.
Or more that the monkey jumped from the shore onto a gigantic like steamer ship.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just like a little rowboat. It was a fucking steamer.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did it have to jump out and distance, it had to like jump up and high with distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, it needed to be launched out of a cannon.
Yeah, basically. Because to the point where, like, in the same scene, after the monkey jumps and makes the jump, a car that's going like 40 miles an hour shoots off the same place the monkey
and
went.
Does not reach the
even
boat.
Close to the... Yeah, it's like a quarter of the way to the boat is when the car falls into the water.
Yeah, and boats, like, just launching don't travel that fast.
No.
Even if the monkey had, like, let's say 20 seconds, 30 seconds...
Sure.
It can't get that far.
Oh, God.
It would have landed on the boat like the Starsky and Hutch car.
Jesus, that was...
The whole thing is...
insane.
A mess.
It is a mess.
Not that that's a bad thing. No, it is.
Well, this is one of those movies where I love bad movies. We talk about it all the time. I love finding things in movies that... or movies that most people would consider bad. Because I think that's the weird thing is, like, I actually don't consider some of these things bad that we've watched.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they're not perfect, they're not great, that there are issues and this, that, and the other thing. And really, for me, the whole point of this podcast is to not shit on these kinds of things. Like, I actually think that's a disservice to what we're doing.
So should we re-record this?
Well, this is the thing that's really difficult with a movie like this, is this is at such a level that it's actually hard to talk about it. And I think sometimes you just have to, like, call it as it is. Yeah. It's not good.
No. I would say I have enjoyed one part or another of most of the movies that we've watched.
Yeah.
There have been insane ones.
Totally.
You're like, what the hell did I just watch?
And then there have been some that are like, I mean, it's funny because I think back to X-Ray, which is clearly not a good movie.
Right.
But there were some really cool moments.
There were moments, yeah, exactly.
And then I started...
And that's what we're always looking for.
Right.
And not a single time in this.
There was not a lot of enjoyment in this movie.
Like, there were a couple of jokes that seemed to land, but that is because they're professional actors and professional comedians.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna hit one out of the park somewhere.
Dom DeLuise is a funny guy.
He is a funny guy. He was just...
horribly miscast in this.
Horribly miscast, and also, it felt like he was shackled to the script. Didn't it?
That's
yes, I know
weird, because I was going to say it almost felt like
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a hybrid issue, right? Because in some ways it felt like he was shackled to the script.
Yeah.
But at other times it felt like he hadn't even read the script that day, and he was pulling a full-on Brando from
reading
Apocalypse
off
Now, where
the
he
other
just like
person's. Yeah.
Well, I was not even going to say, like, because, like, the whole thing with Apocalypse Now, if you've ever heard this amazing story of, like, Brando showed up, like, 100 pounds overweight.
Right.
And had not read a word of the script.
Great.
And Francis Ford Coppola actually read him the whole script word for word, like, sitting there. And Brando was like, I'm just going to say what I want to say. And I don't think Brando actually said one single line that was scripted.
Great. Good.
It's an incredibly amazing performance.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the weird part of that.
Yeah.
And it's shot like it's one of the greatest scenes. Like the way it's shot is so beautiful, and it was all because Brando was so fat. That they had to shoot it in such a way that like we didn't see how fat he was.
Yeah, of course.
But and there's a great part in this documentary about the movie where Brando's talking and he's like, and all of a sudden he goes, Francis, I ate a bug. I ate a bug, Francis. A bug flew in my... I ate a bug. Anyways.
I'm going to say something.
Dom DeLuise.
I'm going to say something, and I think you have so many good qualities, but that is probably the worst Brando I have ever heard. I'm sorry.
It's pretty bad. It's not a good Brando. But anyways, that's for our other podcast, Apocalypse Now Talk. Creating Apocalypse.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now!
Thank you.
Oh my God!
Hashtag Apocalypse Now.
Holy shit. You know what? I'm fucking done. I quit. It's never going to get better than that. Bye.
You're welcome.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, you just talk about that every episode.
Oh, shit.
I think we could make something out of that.
I could do that. We just watch it 1 minute at a time. One of those ones.
Perfect.
Fucking Apocalypse Now. Christ. Anyways.
TMCR.
Back to Going Bananas.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt like there was some times where, like, that what was happening with Dom DeLuise. Was there, like...
He was like, I don't care, or I'm just gonna be in this moment and say what probably my character would say,
or maybe he was even like, oh my God, let's get some alts, Dom. Let's just go get some alts. Like,
right, okay.
Go out there and say whatever you're going to say.
It just felt like he was saying, like, again, it felt like he was saying what would continue on the process. He would say it as flat or as just straightforward as possible and be done with it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weird. It's such a weird movie. So then we should ask this question, right?
Okay.
Because I think it's fairly clear on where we stand with it.
Yeah. What did we learn?
I felt like there's one hugely important thing that I learned from this movie.
Yeah. Hire a better DP. That editor must have been going out of his mind. Well, there's no shots that match up.
Talk about that for a second.
There's so many shots that have, like, at one point, I mean, this is just continuity.
Yes.
But it's at one point the monkey's wearing Dom DeLuise's pith helmet, and then
it cuts to Dom DeLuise
has the helmet on.
Well, I'm pretty sure
I'm sure something was cut out.
I was gonna say I didn't mean to make you rewind anything, but I'm pretty sure there was a moment where they were
nothing
both
in between
wearing a pith helmet.
No, I'm pretty sure it was just one, but maybe I don't know. I'm not sure.
There was a moment where the moment where the monkey had it, and was wearing it, and then Dom DeLuise was wearing it, and then the monkey was wearing it, and then Dom DeLuise was wearing it.
Sure.
The monkey was wearing it. Dom DeLuise wasn't wearing it. Monkey was wearing it. Dom DeLuise is holding one.
Sure.
So that's why I was like.
Yeah,
wait, what?
So continuity was awful. But then, I mean, this goes along with continuity. There would be parts where an interstitial cut, like something that would lead from one place to the next, was completely just logistically, they didn't go from where they started and end where they would have with that middle shot. There's so many frustrating technical things in this.
Well, eye lines were really weird.
Eye lines, always bad.
Where two characters were talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, where are you in relationship to each other?
Yeah. And also straight to the camera sometimes. Which didn't, if it was more like that, it would have made sense. But there were like 3 times and none of them made sense.
Yeah.
So.
And there was also a bunch of like high to low and low to high shots that didn't match any sort of trajectory from moment to moment. Like and those are those interstitial shots and whatnot. It's just such a weird. And like DP was one thing. And it's funny that you say editing, because the thing that I felt like I really picked up on this is that pacing isn't a thing that you can fix in post.
No.
Because there were times where some of those long shots, it was like someone would say a line, and then there'd be like a long beat, and then like someone else would say a line.
Yeah.
And it felt really awkward and slow.
And they didn't cut around it.
And they didn't cut around it.
And you can do that.
And then, in some of the stuff at the beginning, it was like, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good. Okay, let's go over there. We'll go over there. Okay, let's go over there. Let's go over there.
Yeah, the pace, and the whole tone and pacing of the thing wasn't consistent.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
yeah. Because it felt like a screwball comedy with how quickly lines overlapped.
Sure.
But it was all done through editing.
Right.
It wasn't like they were in the same shot. It was just one shot to the next.
Right.
Without even like a half a second for someone to like process a word. So it was weird because I actually found like things were happening so fast paced. I felt like I couldn't keep up, or I was falling asleep.
Right.
There was nothing in there that felt like
right down the middle. You're hitting your stride,
you're
folks.
Your stride.
No, that never
was not there.
And I'm sure they didn't shoot this in order. So
what?
Yeah. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I think I'm done with this movie, Nick. I am not. I would work with any of the actors, but I don't know, man. It was a
tough one. It was a real tough one. There was just so many weird things. There was one funny joke that I laughed pretty good at.
Okay, go
ahead.
It
was sort of making fun of Americans' names. Where where the guy was introduced as Andrew Robertson. He was like, no, my name is Robert Andrewson.
That's
right. And it was just like a weird bit, and like, I don't know.
Well, that bit player was good.
That bit player was great.
And he was like, that was one of those that it felt like it had been shot later on when they were all hitting their stride.
They were figuring it out.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was like the one part. And also, too, now that I say it, I'm not even sure if that's actually funny or if I was just so starved for like something to land.
Oh,
that one felt like it landed.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly there's like pacing and shooting, which is a weird thing because I think it's really fucking important that we've learned those two lessons,
yes.
right?
Like, well, the basics. Yeah. You know, we have not noticed it in other ones because they've been passable, at least. It was a very ambitious movie, I think, for all the action and that scene in the restaurant. All of those fights.
Yeah.
They didn't make sense, but there was a lot of it.
I'm sure that one guy got thrown out the window 4 times.
It reminded me of, that's true. It reminded me of Firewalker. Remember that crazy bar?
The bar fight in that. Yeah, with Chuck Norris.
Yep. And just nuts. Man.
I wonder, I don't know what to wonder. Okay. I know what I was going to say. This movie looks like it was probably really fucking expensive, but I couldn't find a budget anywhere.
Yeah. Yes, it must have been. Wrecked cars, a plane.
Yeah.
A full circus.
Although if you're shooting on location in Africa, in
might
West
have been
Africa,
cheaper.
In the, in the 80s.
Yeah.
It might have been pennies on the dollar comparatively, but still, it was just...
Well, it's all up on the screen.
Yeah.
Whatever they did, it's all up on the screen. Good job.
Yeah.
Good try, guys.
Yeah, good job us for
making
the whole movie
through it.
And then talking about it in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, we'll be watching something different next week.
Yes,
definitely.
We will.
Oh, man, I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I chose this, and I'm sorry.
You literally chose this. But you know what, though? We would have watched it anyways.
Yeah, we would have.
So at least it's out of the way.
Whew.
This is one of those movies where if you are going to watch along, just like flip through it. Like watch a little bit here, watch a little bit there.
Yeah, there are interesting parts. See what piques your interest.
Yeah, but hit the fast forward button quite a bit.
Yeah, there's not going to be much. Watch for the shiny colors.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, Nickaroony, what do we got on the docket next week?
Bassy, AJ Roney?
Ray J.
AJ Ray J?
Sure.
Ray J. Did you know he was once in a porn?
That's what I've heard.
With Kim Kardashian. You know what? Never mind. Oh, boy. Next week, we have Alfred from Batman.
Oh, yeah.
A.K.A. Michael Goff.
Okay.
Starring in The Crucible of Horror.
Oh! That's spooky.
No.
Is it not?
You'll find out.
Oh. I guess everybody else will find out next week
on
Creating Canon. Hey, Nick, where can people follow you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs?
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Just down the street, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say anywhere while I'm walking around. Just go and follow me. But,
into the bathroom.
You can find me on the Twitters.
Okay.
On the Tweetus.
Ooh.
On the Tweetus.
Okie dokie.
Just call all of that. It's at Nicholas C. Pappas.
Okay.
And I have a website called nicholascpappas.com.
Hey.
Might be a place you want to look to if you're more interested in longer things or like my writings or whatnot. But yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm at the AJ Hamilton all across the interwebs, and I'm actually at www.theajhamilton.com if you'd like to visit my website that has, I think, stuff on it. Sure. Yeah, check it out. I'm not in charge of it. I am.
Yeah, I gotta talk to my guy who is not doing it properly. I gotta talk to him and slap him around a little bit.
Yeah.
AJ, why are you hitting yourself?
Self-hatred. But you can contact us at creatingcanon@gmail.com, or we're at creatingcanon, 2 N's, CANNON, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebooks. So check it out, folks. Yeah. And as we always say, good night and good bananas.
That's not what we say.
No, we don't. You're right.
We say good night and banana cannon.
Banana cannon. Why didn't they include that? It was a circus.
Jesus
include
Christ.
A banana cannon.
We fixed this movie.
We solved it.
Just now.
Good night and good cannon.
AJ and Nick love listeners. Yay!
Testing 1 2. Test.
Waka waka waka.
Sounds good. Can't hurt, I imagine. Or they can hurt a lot.
We'll see. Testing. 1 and 2. Am I showing up? I don't know.
God damn.
Are we recording?
You're much better at this than me.
It's a fat guy thing.